Hello, m'ladies. Welcome to a candid exploration of an often overlooked aspect of male sexuality, the psychological vulnerabilities that lurk beneath the surface in the bedroom. In a world saturated with glossy magazine covers and airbrushed fantasies, it's time to strip away the facade and confront the raw truth. Behind closed doors, men grapple with an array of inner demons that can profoundly impact their sexual experiences. In this journey of introspection, we'll delve into the uncharted territories of masculine psyche, shedding light on the fears, insecurities, and pressures that often go unspoken. We'll navigate through the labyrinth of emotions that shape a man's journey between the sheets. So fasten your seatbelts and prepare to embark on a voyage of discovery. Together we'll unravel the intricacies of the male psyche in the most intimate of settings, forging a path towards understanding, empathy, and ultimately, liberation. Welcome to the unfiltered truth about the weaknesses of every man in bed, where honesty reigns supreme and authenticity is the ultimate aphrodisiac. At number 1, body image issues. Empresses, body image issues are a major psychological weakness for many men in bed. Society often overlooks this, but the truth is, men can be incredibly insecure about their bodies. They worry about everything from their weight and muscle tone to the size of their genitals. This isn't just a minor concern. It can dominate their thoughts and seriously affect their sexual confidence. When a man is self-conscious about his body, it can make him hesitant to undress or even initiate sex. He might constantly compare himself to the chiseled, idealized images he sees in the media or porn, feeling like he falls short. This comparison game is toxic and can lead to feelings of inadequacy. These insecurities can also manifest during sex. If a man is preoccupied with how he looks, he's not fully present in the moment. Instead of enjoying the experience, he's worrying about whether his partner finds him attractive or if they're judging his body. This mental distraction can make it difficult for him to relax and fully enjoy sex, leading to a less satisfying experience for both partners. Furthermore, these body image issues can lead to avoidance behavior. A man might shy away from certain positions, keep the lights off, or even avoid sex altogether because he's too embarrassed about his body. This avoidance can strain relationships, as his partner might feel rejected or assume there's a lack of attraction. Number 2, misguided expectations from porn. Ladies, misguided expectations from porn are a significant psychological weakness for many men in bed. Pornography sets up a fantasy world that's far removed from reality, and when men use it as their benchmark for sexual performance, it leads to a host of problems. First, the physical standards in porn are unrealistic. The actors often have surgically enhanced bodies, and their performances are edited to look flawless. Men start believing that they need to have the same level of physical perfection and stamina, which is simply not attainable for most. This can cause a deep sense of inadequacy and self-doubt when they don't measure up to these artificial standards. Second, the scenarios in porn are heavily scripted and exaggerated. Real sex isn't a non-stop marathon of intense pleasure where everyone is always satisfied. It involves awkward moments, communication, and sometimes things don't go as planned. Men who take their cues from porn often expect their partners to be constantly ready and eager, mirroring the exaggerated enthusiasm of porn stars. This creates a disconnect, as real-life partners have varied desires, needs, and levels of interest that don't always match up with these unrealistic portrayals. Moreover, porn often portrays women in a submissive role, with their pleasure being secondary to the man's. This can skew a man's understanding of mutual satisfaction and consent. He might focus too much on his own pleasure, missing the essential element of a partner's enjoyment. This can lead to selfish behavior in bed, leaving partners feeling unappreciated and dissatisfied. Additionally, the techniques shown in porn are often extreme and not always pleasurable for everyone. Men who try to replicate these moves might cause discomfort or even pain to their partners, leading to a negative sexual experience. Without open communication, they might not realize they're doing something wrong, which can erode trust and intimacy in the relationship. Porn also promotes the idea that sex is always spontaneous and doesn't require emotional connection or foreplay. In reality, a fulfilling sexual relationship often involves emotional intimacy, communication, and mutual respect. Men who rely on porn as their sexual education might neglect these crucial aspects, resulting in shallow, unfulfilling encounters. Lastly, overconsumption of porn can desensitize men to normal sexual stimuli. They might find it hard to get aroused by a real partner because they're so used to the high-intensity, varied scenes in porn. This can lead to issues like erectile dysfunction or a lack of interest in actual sex, further complicating their intimate relationships. Ladies, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the content and want to stay updated on our latest videos. Join our community of like-minded individuals who are breaking down barriers and embracing authenticity in their journey towards self-discovery. Subscribe now and become a part of the unstoppable she community. At number 3, performance anxiety. Performance anxiety is a major psychological weakness for many men in bed. It's the fear that they won't live up to expectations, and it's a huge problem that affects both their mental state and sexual performance. First, performance anxiety can start before sex even begins. Many men worry about whether they will be able to satisfy their partner. This worry can create a lot of stress and tension, making it difficult to get or maintain an erection. The pressure to perform well can be so overwhelming that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more they worry, the harder it is to perform. This anxiety is often rooted in unrealistic expectations. Society and media bombard men with images of perfect, tireless lovers who can go all night and always satisfy their partners. This sets an impossible standard that most men feel they have to meet. When they inevitably fall short of this ideal, it can shatter their confidence. During sex, performance anxiety can be paralyzing. Instead of enjoying the moment, men might be preoccupied with thoughts like, "Am I doing this right?" or "What if I can't keep it up?" These intrusive thoughts can take them out of the experience, making it difficult to focus on their own pleasure or their partner's. This distraction can lead to physical issues like premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction, which only adds to the anxiety. The impact of performance anxiety doesn't stop in the bedroom. It can spill over into other areas of life, affecting self-esteem and relationships. Men might avoid sex altogether to escape the stress, leading to a lack of intimacy with their partner. This avoidance can cause tension and misunderstandings, as the partner might feel rejected or unloved. Performance anxiety can also create a vicious cycle. A man experiences anxiety, which leads to a poor sexual experience, which then increases the anxiety for next time. This cycle can be hard to break without addressing the underlying issues. Some men might try to mask their anxiety with substances like alcohol. But this often exacerbates the problem, as alcohol can further impair sexual performance. Furthermore, performance anxiety isn't just about physical performance. It also includes worries about emotional performance. Men might fear they aren't romantic or attentive enough, that they aren't making their partner feel special or loved. This can add another layer of pressure, making sex feel like a test they have to pass, rather than an enjoyable, shared experience. Lastly, performance anxiety is often shrouded in shame. Many men feel they can't talk about it because they're supposed to be confident and capable in bed. This stigma prevents them from seeking help or even discussing their fears with their partners. Without open communication, the anxiety festers and grows. Number 4. Inadequate sexual education. Inadequate sexual education is a major psychological weakness for many men in bed. Most sex education programs are woefully insufficient, leaving men with a poor understanding of sex, their own bodies, and the bodies of their partners. This lack of knowledge has serious consequences. First, many men have little to no understanding of female anatomy. They might know the basics, but they often don't understand the complexities of female arousal and pleasure. For example, many don't know that the majority of women need clitoral stimulation to achieve orgasm, not just penetration. This ignorance can lead to frustration for both partners when sexual encounters don't result in mutual satisfaction. Second, inadequate sexual education means that men often don't know how to communicate about sex. They don't learn how to talk openly with their partners about their desires, boundaries, and needs. This lack of communication can lead to misunderstandings, unmet expectations, and unsatisfactory sex. When men don't ask what their partner likes or dislikes, they miss the opportunity to create a fulfilling and enjoyable sexual experience for both. Additionally, many men are not taught about consent and healthy sexual relationships. They might not fully understand the importance of mutual consent and respecting their partner's boundaries. This can lead to situations where they inadvertently make their partner uncomfortable or push boundaries without realizing it, damaging trust and intimacy in the relationship. Inadequate sex education also means that men might not be aware of safe sex practices and the importance of sexual health. They might not know how to properly use contraception or how to protect themselves and their partners from sexually transmitted infections, STIs. This can lead to unintended pregnancies and the spread of STIs, which can have serious physical and emotional consequences. Furthermore, men often don't learn about the emotional aspects of sex. They might view sex purely as a physical act, missing the deeper connection that can come from emotional intimacy. This can result in sex feeling mechanical or disconnected, rather than a meaningful shared experience. When sex lacks emotional depth, it can leave both partners feeling unfulfilled. The absence of comprehensive sexual education also leaves men ill-equipped to handle sexual issues when they arise. They might not know how to deal with common problems like erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, leading to embarrassment and a reluctance to seek help. This can exacerbate the issue and create a cycle of anxiety and avoidance. Number 5, ego vulnerability. Empress's ego vulnerability is a significant psychological weakness for many men in bed. Sex and ego are often closely tied, and any perceived inadequacy or criticism can severely damage a man's self-esteem. First, let's understand why ego is so intertwined with sexual performance. Society places a lot of emphasis on men being strong, virile, and sexually competent. From a young age, men are taught that their worth is partially measured by their ability to perform in bed. This cultural conditioning creates a fragile ego that is heavily dependent on sexual success. When a man feels that he's not performing well sexually, it can be a huge blow to his ego. This feeling of inadequacy can come from various sources, such as failing to satisfy his partner, experiencing erectile dysfunction, or not lasting as long as he thinks he should. Each of these instances can chip away at his self-confidence. Criticism, whether explicit or perceived, can be particularly damaging. A casual comment from a partner about his performance can be taken as a devastating critique. Even well-intentioned feedback can be misinterpreted and lead to feelings of failure and humiliation. For example, a suggestion to try something different in bed might be heard as a complaint about what he's currently doing, making him feel incompetent. These blows to the ego extend beyond the bedroom. A man who feels inadequate sexually may carry those feelings into other areas of his life. His overall confidence can take a hit, affecting his work, social life, and mental health. This can create a negative feedback loop. Low self-esteem leads to poor sexual performance, which further lowers self-esteem. Ego vulnerability can also lead to defensive behavior. Instead of addressing the root of the problem, some men might react with anger or withdrawal. They might avoid sex to protect their ego, which can cause frustration and distance in their relationship. This avoidance doesn't solve the problem and often makes it worse, as the underlying issues remain unaddressed. Moreover, men might resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms to protect their egos. Some may boast about their sexual conquests or exaggerate their experiences to friends to mask their insecurities. Others might become overly critical of their partners, deflecting attention from their own perceived shortcomings. The constant pressure to be a perfect lover can also prevent men from being honest about their needs and insecurities. They might feel that admitting any weakness is a sign of failure, so they keep their anxieties to themselves. This lack of communication can lead to misunderstandings and dissatisfaction for both partners. To tackle ego vulnerability, men need to challenge the societal norms that equate their worth with their sexual performance. It's essential to recognize that everyone has sexual insecurities and that it's okay to talk about them. Open communication with a partner can alleviate much of the pressure, as both parties can work together to create a more satisfying sexual experience. Additionally, seeking help from a therapist or sex counselor can provide valuable tools and perspectives. Professional guidance can help men build a healthier self-image and develop coping strategies for dealing with criticism and perceived inadequacies. See you in our next video, lovelies. Bye for now and stay blessed.